I see you find no joy in the ceremony, he said. It is a tribute to your glory.
There is no glory in the shame of seasons too numerous to count.
Kazoo Kal Mandik nodded, revealing the gaps in his own natural weaponry. The emptiness. He had spent his life in the service of the old gods, but it was he who the new god had found and first spoken to.
I am pleased it was you, Grumph, he said after a time. The winner needed to be someone like you.
A youngling fell for the tricks of a woman crawling upon her hands and knees, gnashing her teeth temptingly as she waggled her tattooed buttocks at him. He ran to her, shoving two others down, and made to mount her. When she spun and threw him into the fire, he screamed and howled, and Grumph had to wait for him to roll out of the flames and extinguish himself in the dirt, his cries making it impossible to speak to the elder shaman for a time. The woman's coarse laughter echoed from the surrounding cliffs, rising on the tide of laughter coming from everyone else around. Grumph had to wait for the wave of that to pass as well.
Why do you fear it, old one?
He finally asked. Kazoo Kal Mandik leaned back and studied Grumph. His lined green face seemed faded in the firelight. Dancers passed in front of the fire, throwing darkness, fleeting shadows, across the severity of his broad countenance, like the blinking of time. He considered hiding the truth, what little he knew, from today's victor, but decided he would not. He would trust in God's judgment in this.
It is not fear, he said after a time. It is caution, which is a thing of discipline. We do not know how it works. It is God's stone. It will help us take our rightful place on Prosperian. God has said it will be so.
Does Warlord know you speak such things?
He does.
Then he is weak. He should have pulled out your tongue.
He should have, but he did not. For he has, at least for now, faith in discipline. Why else would he hold back an army that is over 100,000 strong? How could he have grown such a force?
Grumph nodded across the heaped food at the scene that continued to unfold around the fire. The dance of beginning.
But he does not believe in the one God. His discipline will fail. It will fail when we need it most.
It is possible,
admitted Kazoo Kal Mandik.
The enemy's spear is thrown,
insisted Grumph.
Warlord must dodge, duck, or lift his shield. He must choose, or we will all be struck the death of his indecision.
Your discipline must include faith in your leaders, Grumph. Warlord did not get his seat by stupidity.
Grumph nodded. This was true. Laughter rose again, a guttural rush like the sound of several hundred boars startled all at once. The burned youngling was crabbing backwards on hands and feet, moving away from the approach of the woman who had thrown him into the fire. She slapped at him, punched the flaccidity that pain had brought upon him, as she mocked his impotence.
I see you do not want me any more, she taunted over the laughter of the crowd. Would you like to speak to God?
Kazoo Kal Mandik asked after a time. Grumph turned to face him, his eyes narrowing as he fixed the ancient shaman with a doubtful stare.
It is not so easy as that.
Oh, it is,
said the warlock, sipping water from the bowl of an abalone shell.
But there is one thing you must tell me first.
And that is?
Said Grumph, knowing well what was coming next.
You must tell me what you learned of the Godstone.